Welcome back to the Compound Podcast. This is episode 173.
Woo!
173 of the Compound Podcast, presented by Parse Rum, my favorite rum, your favorite rum. Go to Benny's, go to your local liquor store, ask about Parse, get yourself some rum before summer's over. Say something nice about Parse. When was the last time you planted a tree?
So you like the world, then buy some Parse. Plant a tree.
Right. You're saving the earth. Sorry
Want to
about
help
it.
the environment? Buy a bottle of Parse.
You like the earth? Get some Parse.
Dakota, I was really excited to tell the people that you were wearing no sleeves, and I was going to ask you about the sleeve monster, but then you changed.
Yeah, beat you to the punch. That's honestly my comfiest shirt. I wear it all the time, and then I remembered we were recording. That's why I changed shirts before we started. But it's so comfy. I wear it every day when I get home.
Where is everybody right now? Zack, you're in Detroit.
Yep, Motor City.
Lexington,
Huh?
Kentucky.
You're in
3 weeks
everybody's
left.
home, huh?
3
Everybody's
weeks
home?
left, and then I get to go watch my friends play baseball.
It's going to be a fun time, huh?
I can't wait to watch GS59. If he doesn't start, Zach, if you don't start one of the last 6 games at home, I'll be on the field. I'm going streaking on the field in protest.
That would be electric.
Did you guys see tonight? 2 people ran on the field to hug
Bro.
Ronald Acuna,
Yeah. That was kind of scary.
and then the one was hugging him, and then the security guard was tackling him, and then he wouldn't let go. Then the other guy came, and then he kind of got tabletopped, and he ended up on the ground.
That's too much for me. I don't need you touching the players. That's where it's I don't know what this guy's thinking. What's going on in his head? Anything can happen here.
I don't think anybody's running on the field to touch me, but if somebody did get close enough to touch me, I think I'm going the opposite way. I'm going.
What if
Well, they
what
always
if I
tell
come
us
to a game?
keep your eye on them, right?
Yeah.
Don't turn your back, and just if they come near you, kind of do what you got to do.
Ian, what if I come to a game and I run on the field? What do you think happens? Do you hug me? If I try to hug you?
Maybe I would start running with you. I'd start lead
Yeah.
blocking.
Perfect.
You're
You
like,
lead
"Go that
block
way."
on the security guards. Let
Dude,
him go. Let him
The
go.
security guards have no remorse when they get whoever
You
they're
can't,
getting,
though.
bro.
But think about it. You can't. If I see those people running at Acuna, I'm like, this guy's done. I'm
Done.
taking him out.
But
because say you're the security guard and you let the guy go and he dives at Acuna's legs or whatever, some freak thing happens, that's on you.
Yeah, and
Also, that's your World Series if you're a security guard.
oh yeah, bro.
Can I ask you guys? So, if you see somebody about to hop over the fence, you see about to happen, is your initial reaction fuck, someone's about to come on the field, and I'm nervous, or what is your initial reaction seeing knowing that you're about to see a streaker or someone's about to come on the field?
I've seen it a couple times, but it's never been super near me. I would say I would only get nervous if it was close to me. If it's close to me, I'm getting out of there.
Yeah,
I could see Bleacher Jeff running up and trying to give you a hug if you ever went on the field.
it's just such a
Bleacher Jeff has so much respect for the game that he shuts the wave down because he doesn't want it to distract the players.
Love that.
I do like
He's-
that.
I didn't mean that.
He's
I didn't
never-
mean that as a slight to Bleacher Jeff. I meant if he ran on the field, it would be to give you a hug.
And I
You know
would
what I
give
mean?
him a hug. I would give him a
100%.
hug.
That's what I'm saying. I think you.
It's like a family member.
100%.
We had one a few weeks ago, and this guy was running for a good 2 or 3 minutes. Just security guards are coming each and every way, and they were just not stopping him. And at the end, he was just all right, I'm good. And they just,
Yeah, better enough.
there was 12 of them. Just everybody's getting a shot. Everybody's getting their hits on this guy. And it's just oh my God.
I love
Dakota,
that.
do you have a list of topics for the show today?
I sure don't.
That's awesome.
All right,
That's
we can
awesome.
hey, I got some.
Ooh, wait
I
a minute.
think-
First time ever, Zach Short comes with a topic. That's the
stop,
first
Dave.
time in pod history, 172 episodes, 0 topics. Here's
Ding,
one.
ding, 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 ding.
Mookie-
This
First
better be good.
time.
Mookie Betts is my MVP this year.
Nope. I would
Wow.
like to counter with Freddie Freeman, who is hitting 341.
Doesn't matter.
You guys heard of this guy named Ronald Acuna Jr.? He's pretty good too.
Hey, yeah, Mookie is completely taken over my MVP race between those two.
But his show, well, I almost said show.
Can I ask a question?
Act like you know ball, Dakota.
Can I ask a question about the MVP? I want to start with something and then I want to ask a question. My first thing is, it's just hilarious to me the baseball writers and everybody in the media landscape gets so fired up and they're like, Acuna's the runaway MVP, and then they're like, oh wait, this dude's gonna hit 400. It's a two-way race, and it's May 15th.
Yeah.
It's like, just give the season some time to unfold. Everyone's getting a little excited. And now you have Mookie, Freddie, and Acuna. And I want to ask a question about this. Mookie's played a bunch of positions, but he's primarily a right fielder. Acuna's primarily a right fielder. Freddie Freeman plays first base. He gets a pretty big positional
Slap. Yeah.
from the war generator for playing first base. When you look at these guys, do you line up the pure stats or do you use war, whether it's F war or B war, as a metric? Because I've seen this, and like Mookie's got 7 wins above replacement, and Acuna's got just under that. Call it 6.5, and then Freddie's not really in that conversation with those guys, and it's because he plays first base. But if you look at all of his other numbers, he's right there.
I think for me, I think it's more of the stats. I don't love war. Like, I don't know much about it. I know that it's kind of like a whatever stat, but like the higher, like when guys are getting in like that Shohei range, it's like, all right, that is absolutely insane, you know? But like,
I just don't. Yeah,
if I'm looking at MVP, like Mookie's hitting 315 with a 1 dot, like he has 35 homers. Yeah, 35 homers. I mean, Freddie Freeman just hit his 50th double yesterday.
50, and he's got a month left.
He's also hitting 341. No,
Go ahead,
Zack.
Dakota. Thank you for patiently waiting
yeah,
with your hand up.
341. Basically the 1 dot.
This hand is not as a question. This is me. Hand up. I'd like to retract. I have looked at the numbers and I would like to agree with Zack. Mookie for MVP.
And
That
I
is
listen after.
insane.
Yeah,
his
and like
stats.
after watching Acuna when we played him, I was like, I mean, I don't see anybody beating this guy with the numbers he has. He's stealing 3 bases every time he gets on base. Like, you're not gonna pass him. And then like Akil Baddoo on our team was just like, he's like, bro, I'm telling you, Mookie, and I'm like, dude, no, like that lineup's too stacked. Like, it's just I don't see it. Like, bro. Every day MLB Network, Mookie Betts 5-hit game, Mookie Betts 2 homers, and it's like, bro. And
I did
you said
not
playing
know.
short, second, and outfield.
I did not know Acuna had 59 bags.
Bags.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But I also didn't know that Mookie had 35 and 93, which is also insane. Like that is
Insane.
bonkers.
From the leadoff, which again, it doesn't really matter in that lineup because everybody's getting on base. But
I mean, his OBP is 407. He's like you said, his OPS is like 101. 1 dot. Whatever, you know,
Tom, can you read us average OPS and RBIs?
Yeah.
And stolen bases.
Yeah. So Mookie right now, 123 games, is hitting 315 with a 407 OBP, 611 slugging, which leads the league, and a 1.0.18. So a 1018 OPS. So that's a 171 OPS plus. Both of those figures also lead the league. He's got 35 homers, 93 RBIs, and 10 stolen bases. He's also hit 36 doubles. Acuna, on the other hand, Acuna in 129 games is hitting 330 with a 413 OBP, a 562 slugging, and a 975 OPS. He's got a 159 OPS plus. He's got 28 homers, 74 runs batted in, 30 doubles to go along with 59 stolen bases. He is 59 for 70 on stolen.
so what did you say his OPS plus was? 159?
159, and Mookie right now is 171.
Okay. Why is that? I almost feel like that's too low. Like 70, better than 70% of the league. I feel like that's better than like 90% of the league.
It's 70% better than league average.
Okay, I think it's 90% better than league average. Like
It's almost double league average.
I think another nut stat adding to the Acuna ones is 595 plate appearances, only 73 punchies, and 66 walks. That's crazy.
dude.
That is crazy. Can
Mookie
you read me
has
Freddie's?
88.
I like to hear Freddie's.
Yeah, I also have Freddie's.
Yeah.
Freddie, 341 average, a 417 OBP, which leads the league. He's got a 581 slugging and almost a 1 dot. He's got a .998 OPS. He's got a
Oof.
167 OPS plus, 23 homers, 86 runs batted in. He's got sneaky 17 steals, a career high.
Yeah.
17. I knew
Yes,
that. I
dude.
knew that a lot.
And for good measure, just want to throw this out there, with still a month left to go in the season, he has 50 doubles, which obviously leads the league.
That's insane. I feel like
That's
doesn't Mookie
that's
usually steal
terrifying.
more bags, or am I wrong?
Mookie.
He's only got 10. Like, doesn't he use? I feel like he gets more than that. Or am I wrong?
No, he earlier in his career, like during the Boston era, he stole 21, 26, 26, 30. But then since going to LA, he hasn't stolen more than 12 in a season.
Zach,
Can I just say
go ahead.
that's a pretty bananas MVP race going on, and the fact that two of those guys are on the same team is a little terrifying. And can I also say,
Go ahead.
I'd also like to say that like Matt Olson's gonna have probably 50 pumps, not even in the conversation. We're talking about like that's insane.
So with Freddie too, like, and Acuna not walking that much, not striking out, and still doing that much damage. It's like anytime this guy hits the ball, it's for damage. It's for
Yeah.
slug.
Can I give you another crazy stat from a guy that isn't, I wouldn't say really in the MVP. Like, he's probably top 10, Arias. Like, I'd say just because his slugging numbers, like, he's probably not up there with those guys. He has 528 plate appearances. And he has 31 strikeouts.
Bro.
How insane is that?
I'm gonna be really happy if I have less strikeouts and I have games played.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's so impressive to just, like, pitchers are so good. There's so
Ian,
many
it's tough.
good pitchers.
It's tough, Ian, because you have such a good eye and you're so stubborn in a good way to the strike zone that you get in a lot of 2-strike counts. I used to do the same thing where it's like you don't get off of your approach, and like these guys are like, hey, that shit starts a strike, I'm fucking swinging.
Yeah, I get deep in a lot of accounts. And
Ian, do you still lead the? Are you?
no,
He's
He's
leading
not leading
walks?
it behind Soto.
no.
Oh,
Soto's,
but
Soto
you're
was,
second, right? You were second last time. We talked about
probably
it?
Schwarb Daddy second. I'm probably in the top 5-ish.
Real quick, friend of the pod, Schwarber. Did you see
Yes, dude.
like the stats on him?
Dude.
Schwarb
30
Daddy's,
he
Schwarb
could be
Daddy's
the-
trying to set a few records. It's
He's
pretty.
going to be the first player in history with a negative WAR, possibly a negative WAR, and 40 homers.
That
That's
would be pretty
crazy.
insane. Which, does
36
that-
singles,
Can I ask a question?
36 homers.
Say that again because I don't know if people heard that.
36 singles and 36 homers.
That is so insane.
I did talk to him when we were playing, and he had a funny line about the shift. It was like, God damn it! I thought the shift would give me some singles. It's not working. But it's the crazy thing about WAR is like he's not getting a bunch of hits. His average isn't through the roof, but he's gonna hit 40 pumps. Probably gonna drive in 80, 90 runs. Like, he's super valuable for that team. But like, to say that he would be a negative WAR player, like that means that the league average would replace him. Like, come on now, get out of here.
And the thing is, like, someone said to me the other day, like, why does he lead off? He has 95 walks. His OBP is 335 and his batting average is 189. Like, he gets on base.
Yeah, I was right with him, and then I didn't walk for like a week, and he just kept walking. So I probably have 80 something, and he's got like 95.
Yeah, you have eight.
Yeah.
You have 83 right now, which is tied for fourth. You know, you're tied with pretty good guy to be tied with right now for the MLB fourth place. It's a man named Shohei Ohtani.
We're boys.
Maybe you've heard of him.
Yeah, we're boys.
Real quick, before we move on, I also was just like looking at the Phillies lineup the other day. Like, I know Bryce Harper missed a lot of time, but like he's Bryce Harper. Like, he's hitting 306.
Fuego in August.
He's so good.
So good. And people are like, the power, where'd the power go? He's gonna be just fine. You know, he'll be just fine.
He rakes. That's a good team. The Phillies are a good team
Tom,
with a hot Trey Turner.
Tom, I don't want to say this. Okay. I don't want to say it. But maybe Trey Turner hit 2 homers tonight after the fans said, "Wee, Trey Turner, we believe in you." Maybe, just maybe, the fans cheered for him and he's showing up.
He's up to 255.
He's gonna
He was at like 228.
what's his
when they
OPS?
did it.
OPS
727. But it was like,
He was
I bet you-
660 something,
I
wasn't
was
he?
like, he's raised it a ton.
I bet you he
they gave him
finishes with a
standing
7.
O.
I bet you he finishes close to 750.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of fans and that topic, Judge homered today. It was like 103 off the bat. Sounded like shit. And you go back and look, and it's like, oh my god, that's off the label. Like the bat or the ball probably had the Chandler C logo on it when he hit it, and it was still a homer.
He's so strong.
He's so strong, dude.
Zach,
When he gets in the box, when you're watching the game and he gets in the box and you're that close to him, or you're like,
So
Jesus, dude, how
came,
big are you?
They were hitting BP. And I think I was doing something in the cage, and I was just like, "Oh, I'll pop my head up to see what's going on on the field." And when we come up our tunnel, you can just look right into right field, basically, and you just see this monstrous human just talking next to somebody in the outfield. And I'm like, "Oh, there's Judge." And just like anytime he walks in the box, his presence like says hi to the umpire, and it's just like, bro, what?
When we were I might have told this story. I can't remember on the pod, but when we were in New York, I was talking to Riz before the Sunday game, and we were out there, and Judge was on the IL, but he was in cleats. He was gonna do some running, and he came over, and we're talking, and I'm like this, "Hey, Aaron, how you doing?" And and like dapped him up. And like when it's so tough because when I go to like, and Riz is big, Riz is 6'3", and like when I say hi to Riz, like I always feel like he's big, and then Judge comes over and I feel like Riz and I are the same height, and like I dap him up and like my face is in his stomach and I'm like, "Hey man, how you doing? Oh, hi." Or he's just so
big, bro.
so big.
It's a large individual.
Zach, I'm bummed that we were robbed of a Scotty F. Frost CS59 possible matchup this series.
Yeah.
Stinks. Oh, Scotty texted us last week and said he wanted to come on the pod soon, and I forgot
Not tonight
to text him about tonight, but we do need to have him back soon. He's clamoring for a comeback.
Well, if you wanted to see ZS59 or Aaron Judge, you could go to SeatGeek.
I'd use it to see CS59.
I don't know if you know about SeatGeek, but they're a ticketing app that makes buying tickets super simple. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is #1 rated ticketing app. There's more than 70,000 events every single day on SeatGeek. Tom actually used SeatGeek today. Tom, tell people what you use SeatGeek for today.
Yeah, I went to the Liberty game. Got some great tickets on SeatGeek.
Did they win?
Liberty and the Aces?
Yeah, the top 2 teams in the WNBA, man. It was a good game.
Sabrina Ionesco's on a Liberty, right?
Yeah, she had like 18 in the first half.
Ooh, they won the game, I see. Nice.
Yeah, they won going away. Oh, the Aces were never in it. It's like a sold out crowd too. It's pretty cool at Barclays.
But the most important part is that you got tickets on SeatGeek. We've got
Ian, I saw the green circle, so I knew it was good.
Green
Bingo.
circle. Green means good. Red means bad. Go for the green. Use code COMPOUND. We'll make it even more green. Use code COMPOUND for not 20%. This is $20. $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. $20 off your first purchase. Use promo code COMPOUND. The link is in the description to download the app. Code COMPOUND. $20 off.
I did have 3 things, Ian, that I
got
popped
one
into my head.
I got another one. I think we set it off another alarm.
Go ahead, 5'9". Pop off, King.
Did we chat about Ohtani getting hurt?
No, we haven't.
That was one of my 3. That
was one of my
3.
3.
Yes.
Let me real quick. I think I have to address the Angels fans. I predicted on Tuesday's show that they were going to make a comeback. And before it even premiered on YouTube, Ohtani and Trout were both injured again. So I do feel that I am single-handedly responsible, and I'm sorry to all Angels fans out there.
It was almost immediate, Tom. It was like as we were recording, they both went down.
But Tom, that was a good take, man. Yeah.
Hey, sometimes the takes they don't work out.
It's
all right.
I would like to ask this question about Shohei. Shohei has a torn UCL.
Mm-hmm.
I think
and
what
I've
heard,
still playing,
doubles and triples.
What I've heard is that the torn UCL is a little bit different than the last one. We don't know if he's going to need surgery. We don't know what that looks like. If you are a bidder for Shohei Ohtani this offseason, how much does this change your thinking? And what do you do with him if you get him and he has a torn UCL.
I think more teams will be in on him because they think they can get him for a cheaper price and shorter years.
Mm-hmm.
Casey Mize, I believe, on our team was talking about this the other day. Like, why not incentivize like every one of his starts, right? So say you start X amount of games, you get X amount of dollars. So then if he doesn't, and if he's hurt, you don't own that. You just own whatever he is as a hitter.
Probably because he's too good and he won't say yes to that, and somebody will be willing to pay him and not do that.
I mean, if he gets hurt and then it's just, if he has to get surgery and he misses time or whatever, like
if you're a team looking for Shohei now, you have to consider Shohei the closer and like what that looks like.
I saw that take.
And I talked with some of the guys about the logistics of this because that was the first thing. I didn't think about it, but the first thing that came up is like, what if he's hitting in the 8th inning? I'm like, what do you do? Like when Houston Street was closing out games for Texas in college, he's playing catch with the left fielder from third base. Do you have to build like a legit bullpen down under so that he can get ready? Like, because you can't run him out to the bullpen if he's DHing and he might have to hit. So like, does he just like start getting loose in the 7th or 8th? And like, but from a workload perspective, like it makes him throw, max 70 innings a year. You kind of control, it's 1 inning at a time. Is it harder on the body or is it easier on the body? I don't know, but you can control if you need to give him a couple of days down. Like maybe that makes more sense. And he's probably just as valuable to the team, being able to shut it down and do that role. I don't know.
I've seen people say like he should just be a hitter, and I feel like he's too good of a pitcher to just be done pitching. You know what I mean? Like he's still young enough where like you get whatever needs to be done with his elbow done. Maybe next year he's just a position player or just a DH, whatever it is, and that's still a top 5 hitter in baseball just as a hitter. And then like the following year you have him as, then you kind of see where you're at. Like, do you want him to start games? I think it would be very tough. Like you said, like it's a tie game in the 8th inning and he's coming up and you want him to throw the 9th inning. Like you're not pinch hitting for him, or well, I guess you can't because you need him to pitch. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say, you can't pinch hit so that he goes and gets ready because then he's out of the game. I also think I think you're right. He's too good to just be a hitter. He's too valuable. Like he has the ability to do that. And I wonder, Harper showed us that you can get TJ right after the season. He got it right after the World Series and he was back in May?
Yeah.
So like as a hitter, he could do that. It'd be a tough thing rehabbing and playing and trying to throw again. But like, I wonder how much it does affect his free agency. I think somebody still pays him just a dump truck worth of money, but maybe it's not.
Do you agree? I think I saw like Buster Olney said like it went from like $600 million like being thrown around to like it's, and let's not be crazy here. Like it's still a ton of money, but like now it's probably more around 350, 400. Like, you know what I mean? Like, next year, more than likely, he's not going to be a starting pitcher for whoever he plays for.
Dude, even if he was healthy, I don't see teams giving him like a 12-year or like whatever year contract. Like
if he's healthy, I think he was getting 12.5 at least.
I think,
12 for 500 million. That is.
I think that it would just be like a few short-term deals, like a few 4 years. Like, why?
I think it was going to be.
It's cheaper, but still, you still pay him, and then you're still there for 4 years.
I think it was going to be a backloaded type contract. Like, I think they were going to spread out the money. I think a team was going to find a way to be like, we will pay this guy. Whatever.
I think there's still some teams that are convincing themselves that 10 for 450 or 10 for 500 makes sense.
I still think he's going to make north of 400, and I still think he probably makes north of 500.
I agree. I see 12 for 500 still very possible.
I still think that teams see him as well. I think that you're forgetting the marketing aspect of this as well, that like signing the most famous baseball player in the world is good for your brand. It's just the end of the day. I think it's interesting talking about him being a reliever. I actually think I mean, I'm not a player, so you guys could talk more about this, but I mean, Dakota, I mean, you might be able to speak to this, that like the fact of not knowing when he's going to throw actually, I think would make it more complicated to plan it out. I think maybe the only way you could work as a reliever is like, they're like, he's pitching either Tuesday or Wednesday. Like, we know he's basically pitching once a week now. So maybe you target 1 to 2 days a week. Like he's going to throw Tuesday or Wednesday, and then he's going to throw Friday or Saturday. But even then that would still, I think you guys talked about some of the challenges. I think their teams are going to want him to be a starter still, even though, because we've seen he could do it. So we'll see. I mean, the other one last thing I want to point out is Masahiro Tanaka has been pitching on a torn UCL since 2019. There is a chance that maybe he doesn't go under the knife, that he finds a way to pitch through it. I don't know if obviously that's a big risk. And if you if you make the injury worse, that would be bad, but that there is a possibility that maybe he doesn't have to go under the knife.
Didn't Wainwright also do PRP and pitch for like 5 years before he had TJ? Happ? Anybody?
No.
I believe so. But I'm saying, like, I guess we don't know the extent of the damage. And I believe he's already had TJ. So it'd be his second one, which is like 18 months. Like, I know each time, like, obviously each time you don't want to get it ever, but like, I know if you get it a second time, it's an even longer recovery.
And they said it's not as like accurate. I don't want to say accurate, but like you may not be what you were after the first one.
And that's the issue. And like Tom said, like, I don't see how relieving would work. Like, because especially like, you're not going to throw him in the 6th inning of a game for 1 inning. And the thing is, you can't really schedule when he's going to throw out of the bullpen, because if he's DHing or wherever he's playing, like, then you lose the DH once he's done pitching. And like, it's just a whole nother thing you have to worry about. I don't know. It sucks. It really does like suck for baseball, because
how do they do that now? When he comes out of the game pitching, does he stand to hit, or is he
They
out?
made a rule for him.
Did they? I didn't know.
Yes.
Yeah, they made
so
a rule
like-
this offseason that's like specifically just for him, that if you like,
And it's only if the pitcher starts hitting, then the pitcher can go to DH.
believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's anybody could do it hypothetically. I mean, they can't write it like, oh, just for Shohei.
Well, I'm saying he did it.
yeah, he's obviously the only person who's ever
If
gonna-
it's
yes.
It's if any pitcher starts the game, then you can get the DH back, but like you can't. If he's the closer, you don't like get the pitcher doesn't just pitch then.
Yeah.
Tom,
Yeah, it's tough.
Yes.
this offseason
Mm-hmm.
comes across the ticker. Yankees got Shohei Ohtani, 10
Oh.
years, 500 million. You good with it?
To get the greatest baseball player I've ever seen, yes, 100%. I mean, the injury risk, you have to accept that. He's made it pretty clear. I think he doesn't want to play in the East Coast. That's supposedly what kept the Yankees out of it last time. I don't know if that's changed, but yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any way they get him. But if they did, you throw a parade and throw a parade down the street right now. I'll lead it. Like, let's go.
You know what I think? You know what uniform I think he'd look good in?
Cubby blue.
Bruce Bolt uniform. I think he'd look
Oh.
great wearing Bruce Bolts. Bruce Bolts are the batting gloves that I use. I have white pair and a blue pair. Go to brucebolt.us to check them out. You know what else they have? They have baseball pants. Okay. So if you need a pair of baseball pants, maybe you're starting up fall ball. Best baseball pants out there. You can get the short version. They got the short ones like the big leaguers wear. They got long ones. They got tight ones. Check them out. brucebolt.us. Go check out their baseball pants. Go check out their batting gloves. Get a pair of the Happ series. Why not? What else is on your list, Dakota? You said you got a couple things.
I was literally just trying to remember my other 2 things. My first thing that pops in my head is, can we get numbers on that right-handed bomb you hit today? Because that ball was launched.
It was 104, I believe 104.9 at 33.
We round
How
up.
far?
It's definitely 105 at 33.
How far?
Like 390 something.
Really? I thought
Really?
that ball was long. That was like 15 rows up.
Yeah, I thought it was a bad read too.
Yeah, I got that
That was-
being a little further. I got that a
I thought it was
misread.
4+. Come on.
That was one of your like Your lefty ones, like you hit some like high, pretty ones. Like that was one of your prettier right. I feel like your righty ones are more like line drive homers. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah,
And that
that
one
was a
was
nice
launched.
one. That was especially off Wade. Wade Miley,
Mm-hmm.
former teammate, former Cubby, great dude, wonderful, wonderful human, wonderful teammate. Really enjoyed the time that he was with the Cubs.
But now he's in the book.
He's a tough matchup because he's cutters in,
Yeah.
fours at the top, not pretty rare four, but cutters in, cutters off in. They all look good, and then change ups down and away. And he's really good at hitting that down and away spot. And so he had thrown me some backdoor cutters the last outing, and it hadn't really come in much with the cutter. He kind of gone cutter down, cutter under, but not like in the past he just like dominated me with cutters in. And so first pitch of the game he goes cutter up, ball one, and I was really trying to push it out over, and it kind of showed up and made a really great swing on it, and that was nice. But Wade is a wonderful human, and he did a great job against us tonight.
Yeah, he rehabbed with us last year. When was he with the Cubs?
Last year, yeah.
Last year, and he was a beauty.
Yeah.
Great dude. Like one of those guys that comes down and he's awesome. Like talks to everybody. Great guy.
Yeah. Wonderful. And like he's the type of guy that like good teammate and like will stay in touch with dudes. And like Nicky Madge hit a ball today. I think it was a cutter, and he hit it was like 102 backside, and the second baseman made a diving play. Makes the play, throws him out, and then he's kind of coming around past Wade. And Wade, he's like not afraid to just like talk when he's out there. And Nick's running by him, and he's like, damn, I was trying to get that way in on you. I was trying to get that way in under your hands, left out over the plate. Good swing.
Jordan Wicks with his debut for the Cubbies.
Yeah. Sick debut. He comes in, starts the game, gives up Key Brian Hayes' first at bat of his big league career, gives up a homer. Brian Reynolds hits a laser. Yeah, Brian Reynolds hitting 2-0, hits a laser, and then settles right in, gets out of that jam, and then goes 5 strong.
9 punchies.
Changeup was really working, and like really settled in, did a great job, and awesome debut. Really cool. Just like the Cubs have had a lot of like flack for homegrown pitching and like not having a bunch of dudes come up in that era where the Cubs were really competitive, and the fact that he came up, had a great debut. Obviously Steely's been great, Alizé's been great. Good for the organization and pitching development and stuff, and like just awesome to see him come up and have that type of debut. And he did a great job, and it was a big game for us.
Yeah, it was sick.
Nice beer shower too.
I was gonna say you guys had to shower him, right? Because you got the win, correct?
You got the win, first win. Put him in the shower. Nice beer shower. Some interesting stuff ended up in the shower after, but really good debut.
Other thing I had was the Seattle Mariners
doing it.
Just one. Tigers fans, close your ears. I think ZS59 might lead the Mariner fan club. ZS59 loves the Mariners.
Dude, I just think they're like underrated because they play out in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, I don't know the last time you played them, but like their bullpen is so funky. Like they have guys from every angle. That's like a new trend. I don't know if anybody really out there knows, but like, or notices, I should say.
Yeah.
Like the Rays have a lot of guys from like different angles and different like tendencies. Like every other guy is a different pitcher, opposed to like there was a point where it's like, all right, let's just get everybody who throws hard at the top with spin. And it's like, okay, but like once you bring somebody new in, it's kind of the same thing. So like, like Brash, right? Like Brash looks like he's throwing from down here, small, skinny guy, but just throws absolute noise at 100 and like a little funky, like not really looking at you. They traded Seawald at the end at the trade deadline, which is like, all right, well, we got more people in the pen if we're going to trade him,
They were almost sellers at the deadline.
Yeah. Like Julio had a down year until he got 19 hits and 20 at bats or some shit like that. Like, and like they still have Teoscar. They have Eugenio Suarez, like JP France,
Hi, France.
like Cal Raleigh. I saw a tweet today that he's banging.
By JP France, did you mean JP Crawford and Ty France?
JP Crawford and
Yeah,
Ty
sorry.
France. You put them
JP
together.
France is the Astros guy.
I knew what you meant.
They have a
I
good.
was just
They have a good
clarifying.
team, and you know, I think you look at the AL West, and the Rangers got off to that unbelievable start, and everybody was like, "Well, Rangers are running away with the West," and that's a tight division. It's
Man.
everybody's separated by a game, and like it's going to come down to the end. Mariners have been awesome. That fan base does a great job of showing up. I've still never
Dude,
played there.
That
But
is one of the Scott and I were talking about this yesterday. That's one of the loudest places I've ever been.
We played them early in the year and had a good series with them, but since the deadline, they've been unbelievable, and they've done it the last couple of years. And like, it would be great for baseball for them to win the division and be in the playoffs, and then obviously those other two teams draw well and are gonna, they're gonna be in it. But
So, back to that division, like you forget about the Astros for whatever reason. They won the World Series last year, bro. They scored 17 runs against us yesterday. They went out to Boston, flew out last night, and scored 13 today. That's another lineup where you're just like, bro, what? Their backup catcher, Diaz, is hitting 282 with an 836 OPS.
no offense, Tom.
Chas
No offense.
McCormick, 282 with an 882 OPS. Like, Kyle Tucker had one of the most impressive at-bats I've ever seen in my big league career yesterday. Like 0-2 to 3-2 with fouled off 3 pitches, turned around 94 up and in homer. Like, you look up, oh my God, he has 100 RBIs.
No offense, Tom. There was a lot of talk about the AL East at the beginning of the year and how the AL East is going to be so good.
Well,
And
it is.
it is. They've been very good, but the AL West has been really, really good. And the Mariners weren't expected to win as many games as they've won. The Rangers weren't expected to win as many games as they've won. And that division has been really, really good.
Tom, to defend your division, the Orioles and Rays are both up by like 6 games on the entire AL West. So I got your back, Tom. I know it's not the Yankees, but the AL East is gross. I was looking at the standings. It's kind of crazy that one of the Mariners, Rangers, Astros, and Blue Jays are not going to the playoffs. One of those 4 is missing the playoffs. And those are 4 teams that you could say could win the World Series.
There's three AL West teams in the playoffs right now and 2 NL East teams.
Yeah, but the Blue Jays are 2.5 back, and the Rays and Orioles are both like up by 6 games on the best AL West team. That's what I'm saying. That's my argument.
Fine.
But I agree with you. There are 3. No, I'm like agreeing
No,
with
it's
you
all right, man.
while also defending Tom in that all of those teams could win a World Series. Blue Jays are 2.5 out and you could say they could win the World Series. They're unreal.
Although they've been really bad as of late. Happ was very early on the Texas Rangers last year, and the leader of their bandwagon, some would say.
Yeah, he did say that.
I got to give him credit on that one. So I think we made a bet if they were going to go over or under 85 wins. I need them to go more than 1-9 if I'm going to get the under. I don't like 1-9 is not good enough.
Ian, I mean, then you go to the NL. Like, Ian, you guys are in a fucking race, bro.
Oh, it's a dog fight. It is a
So you play for it's so crazy. Baseball is so stupid, but so cool. Like, play 162 games, yet 16 teams from each side can't get far enough apart from each other throughout the year.
And that's the thing. The thing with baseball is,
Or
like I
15
said
teams,
about like the
whatever it
Blue
is.
Jays, like the Cubs are 5 back of the NL Central. The Brewers have won 9 straight. Like, you got the Giants 1.5 behind the Cubs for the last wild card spot, tied with the Diamondbacks. You could argue any of these teams, like baseball, like you could argue these teams could win the World Series. And like they might miss the playoffs, but you could be like, they could win the whole thing if they get in.
Well, I think there was a lot of talk this year too about the NL East and how good the NL East was going to be. And, right now, as it stands, there's 2 teams from the Central, 2 teams from the East, and 2 teams from the West in the playoffs. Now you have another team from the East, another team from the Central, another team from the West that are competing for that last spot with the Giants, the Reds, and Miami. But like, it's been a very even race in the Central across all the divisions. And like, that just speaks to how strong the league is right now. And one of the reasons why attendance is up, one of the reasons why fan interest is up, but like the league's been very even. And like there's all that talk before the year. And then once it shakes out, like there's a lot of good baseball teams out there and a lot of good players in the league right now. And it's made the season really fun.
How sick all the NL West fan bases, how sick of the Dodgers do you think they are? Like the Diamondbacks were in first for like 100 games, and then the Dodgers just like, all right, we'll take over.
There was a time this year where the Dodgers were like scuffling, right?
But yeah, 100%. Like early in the year, I feel like they were like, or at least like the first 2 months, like I feel like they were like around 500, like probably always like 5-6 games over 500. But now they're 80-49, and it's like, okay, they're back to being the best team in the NL, except for our Cubs.
12 games up in the division.
And the Braves are disgusting, but yeah,
it's pretty nuts.
Like the Dodgers are just year after year, just keep producing unbelievable seasons.
They also have 2 MVPs on the team. Remember when Freddie was in free agency and there was basically only 2 teams bidding, and they were like, "Oh, it's a lot of money to pay for Freddie Freeman." How's that looking now?
Yeah,
jeez.
Dude, he's having the best year of his career, basically.
Well, and the Dodgers got Zack's boy, Kike.
Oh yeah, Kike.
It's your guy.
Yeah, I haven't seen much on him.
Isn't Outman's a rookie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he still hitting like 250 with like a
250, 784 OPS, 16 homers, 56 ribbies.
Bro.
Just sitting in the 6-7 hole, just kind of hanging out at the bottom of the lineup. Like, oh yeah, got to worry about him too. Like that's
insane. About Jay over there. Do you know what this is a good time? This is a good time for ERC.
Yeah, ERC. Yep.
The employee retention credit. That's what you all need to know about. Omega Accounting Solutions is official partner of the Chicago Cubs, and they are helping small businesses all over the country, all over the Midwest and the country, learn about the employee retention credit. It's a government incentive that helps small businesses and in the Midwest, all over the place, get up to $26,000 per employee for overpayment of payroll taxes during the pandemic. If you paid people during the pandemic, if you had 5 to 500 W-2 employees, this applies to you. Omega is the #1 ERC company for getting your ERC funds by Merchant Maverick. That's who said they were the best. Don't miss out on small business tax credit, even if you give out a PPP loan. Smallbizcashback.com/Cubs. Smallbizcashback.com/Cubs. Yes, Dakota.
Last thing I had that I thought of.
It's
a question for Tom. Thoughts on the is it Brennan Lowe or Brennan Lau? Brennan Lowe? Thoughts on his comments after bench is clear, and he called them a last place team, which is true, but it's
is it even shit talking if it's just it's a statistical fact? I mean,
it is a statement of fact.
Yeah.
But did it hurt a little? Like, did that kind of hurt a little?
Yeah, bit? I mean, I was there a couple of years ago when CC. I had 19. CC got really fired up at them, and Didi hit a grand slam. One of the cooler wins of that season. Felt like we kind of had their number at that point. Really, ever since the Chapman walk off in the playoffs, it sort of feels like the two roles have flipped. They've kind of had our number since then, because it always felt like when you had a guy like CC going. Like I remember when CC. He was going for some innings mark that would have got him like 750,000 guy instead. And that was like, like it felt like during that time, the Yankees really were in control of that rivalry. And now it's kind of shoes on the other foot, but that's the way it's going for the Yankees in a lot of ways right now.
Have you seen the 24 schedule?
Have I seen the 2024 schedule? I've not.
Tom, that is real quick about the CC thing. One of the cooler moment like that just like epitomizes CC Sabathia.
Yeah.
Like I've seen that clip, and that clip fires me up every time I've seen it. Like, I don't know if Zack and Ian know, but like it was, what'd you say? 2019.
Yes.
And CC needed like, I think 2 more innings to reach like an incentive to get like $500,000. And like they hit, I think it was Russell Martin at the time. I want to say they hit Russell Martin.
No way he was there in 2019.
No, not only in 19.
Who was it? They hit somebody, and it was Romine, I think.
Yeah, probably Romine. It was,
and then CC goes out and just plunks the first guy, and he just like points to their dugout and goes, "That's for you," as he walks off the mound because he got tossed. He's
Pretty
like,
sure
like he didn't care. He's like,
the Yankees ended up paying him that money too.
They did.
That's what I think I've seen the clip a million times. I think like David Cohn is like, CC don't play. Like CC doesn't give a fuck. Like he is like, I will defend my guys. I don't care. And that's the kind of stuff like that stuff fires me up. Like if you got a guy in that like that in your clubhouse, you feel pretty good.
If you want to talk about great runs the players have had, CC's run in Milwaukee. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever see another run like that. I mean, in part because not only was he pitching so well, he was like mashing. He hit like, you know, 280 during that stretch and was hitting bombs left and right. And he was also pitching like every 3 days. Like I was looking at some of the numbers from that era, and I think it's crazy to look now, like 15 years later. It's not that much. It's not that long ago, but it feels like such a different era for the sport. Like it's just not. When are you seeing guys throwing, 8 complete games in a season? You're probably never gonna see that.
No.
He's one of my all-time favorite players just because of like the way he played baseball.
I was working there in 19 and I worked the playoff game 4 when he got injured. And that was going to be his last season. And I remember they asked us to go downstairs and work the mics. They wanted us down there early. And he was pitching, and I was like, no, I already had a new job. So I was like, if they're gonna fire me, they'll fire me. I was like, I gotta watch. This was the first time I ever got to go to a Yankee playoff game. And then to watch it end like that, man, it was hard not to be, I was in the press box, so you can't get emotional, but it was hard not to get some sort of emotional that this guy that had meant so much to this franchise, comes in 09, gets them a championship with one of the mainstays of that team. And then obviously he'd had his well-diagnosed personal struggles that he had went through. And he, had a stretch there where he was not very good for 2 or 3 years, and all of a sudden kind of found it again at the end of his career and finished really strong. For it to end like that was tough. But it was really, I'm still glad I got to see it, because it was really cool to see the ovation that crowd was able to give him in that moment. Because it was a really bad playoff game, so it was one of the few times they were able to express anything.
Yeah.
That first series of 2024, whenever it is, I haven't seen their schedule. I don't know, but whenever that first series is of 24, it'll be.
Yeah.
Oh, versus the Rays, you're saying?
Yeah, Yankees Rays 2024 first series, because like those comments of like, too bad we don't see him again.
That's what Ian Hamilton
said that. Yeah, that's gonna be.
But that's the thing, like, that's the thing with the balanced schedule is people would love to see that matchup, even though obviously the Yankees, like, unfortunately, probably aren't going to make the playoffs. Like, people want to see that. I know, like,
yeah, I mean, but
guys are probably going to.
It only happens like a few times out of the year anyway. Like the other 16 times you would play somebody, nothing happens.
It is crazy that we don't see the Cardinals again. It's crazy that we don't see the Cardinals.
I would love for them. Is there a way, do you think, with the balanced schedule to even increase like some of those like more historic rivalries, like pick one team in the division, you play them more times, or you find a way to get some of these. Like, I understand the balanced schedule, I understand the appeal of it. And as I said to you, like, I remember walking around here when the Padres were here, and I saw in Midtown Manhattan an influx of Padres fans like I've never seen just walking around one day. So I do understand the appeal of the balanced schedule, but there was something very historic and to me a part of the baseball tradition I liked about playing 19 times. And I wish there was a way to keep both. I know there may not be, but I wish with the math you could find a way to at least get closer to having those teams play closer to 19 times.
Well, Tom, you could tell us about how we can do an in-season tournament to figure it out. Let's do Sloan.
I got some comments from people who said that was a great idea. I still think
I was with you.
Yeah.
Tom was scouring the comments to find the 4 people that said, Tom, that's a great idea.
You didn't let me say my counterpoints for the players too. It was going to be 154 game season, huge cash prize at the end. There was more incentive for the players, but you didn't want to hear it. That's fine.
You had it all the way thought out.
I did, but you didn't want to hear the pitch, so it's okay. I'm not mad.
Let's do the Sloan screen time.
I had a bad day.
Tell the people what your screen time was. Let me tell you about Sloan before you tell the people, though. Sloan's the world's leading manufacturer of commercial plumbing systems. Everybody knows that. They got flush-o-meters. They got all types of things that you need. Provide smart, sustainable, and hygienic restroom solutions by manufacturing water-efficient products like flush-o-meters, faucet sink systems, soap dispensers, and fixtures for commercial, industrial, and institutional markets worldwide. To learn more, visit sloan.com. Tom, what is your screen time?
5:10.
That's not bad. You seem disappointed, but that's not bad.
No, I just had some time here again right before the podcast where I was just in our office here, just kind of on my phone. So disappointed.
348 for me. That's a 348. I'm feeling pretty good about it, and I think it might be a winner.
438. Ooh.
So
Dakota?
it says Tom.
6.
I had a bus ride until 4 a.m. and then I golfed today where I had the Grint open. I got 6 hours, 12 minutes. Okay, you happy? You feel good? There it is.
I feel really good about being back in the winner's circle. It's been a minute since I've won. I've been having some high screen times, and getting back in the winner's circle makes me feel good.
6-12.
I don't love that you.
Good.
I don't love that you lost to Tom, but I love that I'm in the winner's circle.
I'm disappointed in myself. Honestly, I'm kind of disgusted.
You're gross.
It's gross. I need to be better, and I will be better.
That's episode 173 of the Compound Podcast. I think next week we should try to have Scotty on. We should get a Scotty FRS update.
Scotty.
We should get him on the pod.
The thing is we could get Scotty anytime, any day, anywhere. Like he'll come on. We could call him right now, and he'd probably wake up and answer and be like, "I got a question."
Can we do that right now? Can we call him right now? And
No. We'd be on here for another hour because he'd come up with 10 questions.
Scotty, no.
Next week, Scotty F for us on the pod. That's 173 of the Compound Podcast presented by Parse Rum. Go to Benny's. Go to your local liquor store. Go to your local liquor store. Ask about Parse. See you next week.